One of the most commonly held beliefs that is incorrect is that the more income you make, the more financially literate you are. And I grew up in a community in Nashville that was full of Black and brown professionals who were doctors, PhDs, attorneys, business people. And outside looking in, it would seem as if all these people had it together. That was my thought process when I was a child, going to houses that were bigger than most other people in the town and things of that nature. So when I started in financial services, those were the people to whom I called, right? Like I called my play aunts and play uncles and people that I went to church with, thinking they have it all together and I'm just going to be able to come in and manage these things that they've saved and so on and so forth. Well, you start to have meetings with these high income earners and you realize that unless they had a parent or a grandparent or a professor that taught them basic finance, they are just as ill prepared for the money they're earning as somebody who makes nothing at all. So I think seeing that firsthand and knowing that I could bridge that gap, it did establish a sense of purpose in terms of what I do.
Yeah, Brent, I will tell you that I think is, I would be curious to know, as a matter of fact, what the percentage is of people who are truly, I mean, financially illiterate. I mean, I don't know what the definition of that would be, but budgeting, managing your checkbook, doing just basic things, putting away a certain percentage every week or every paycheck so that you don't even look at it or touch it, for the long haul, those types of basic practices. I mean, and I think those are kind of basic, but I don't know how prevalent they are. I don't know how common it is for even high school folks to have to go through some kind of very simple, just money management learning or training or teaching. I would say that my degree in business probably prepared me for it, but I can't remember ever specifically, but other than my dad teaching me some of those basics. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Because you're in a good spot. You just kind of pointed it out that it's prominent out there, that are prevalent out there, that many people are financially somewhat, I don't know if illiterate or just ignorant, maybe, or just not practicing good financial habits.
Well, if you look at the name of our firm, New Money, New Problems, part of the reason that I named it that was partly tongue in cheek, but it also is to take the sting out of feeling like you are financially illiterate, because that is the term, but no one wants to be called financially illiterate or financially ignorant. But that is the situation that you find yourself in. So to me, you said it yourself, you had a father who taught you some of the basics. Well, imagine if your father didn't know the basics himself, where would you go then? Because it's not something that you're going to pick up in school in most cases because it's not required. And if it is required, it's an elective, and the person who's teaching it may be just picking it up in addition to all their other tasks, and it's not the focus of their work. So there is a real financial consequence and a legacy consequence to not having anybody in your family who knows basic financial literacy. And to me, there is the assumption that if you reach a certain level of income, it magically appears, and it doesn't. You have to have a resource that teaches you to be financially literate, or you have to learn by doing. And most of the time, if you're learning by doing, you're learning through mistakes that cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.